Good morning. I'm Gwen Smith, your host for today, and welcome to our special Zoom service. We're doing things different today because of the brutal snow and ice, frigid cold, which hit Nashville area last week and is still lingering around. But what better way to spend this time than with community, hearing a fabulous message to start our week? We keep everyone who is still without electricity and service in our prayers. It's great to see all of you and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Nashville's Winter Watch Gathering. And if you're joining us for the first time, Center for Spiritual Living of Nashville is an inclusive, new thought spiritual community. We believe that we are individualized expressions of God and teach the power of our thoughts to create the lives we want. Our mission is to help people live their best lives through a practical spiritual teaching that you can use every day, wherever you are on your spiritual journey. You are welcome here. Our speaker for today is Reverend Gregory Fisher, and the title of his talk is Awareness is a Verb. It is something you do or not. Without any further ado, I'll turn this over to Reverend Gregory Fisher.
Okay. Well, thank you, Gwen. Um, isn't this interesting? I mean, I do a lot of Zoom work in my life, a lot of meetings, but also I do a lot of individual sessions in Zoom. And the truth is, people say, "Well, don't you miss the energy of being in the room with someone?" I'm like, energy is everywhere all the time. So anything that is felt in one place in the energetic field is felt anywhere. So let's all just dive into the energy of this. And also, what I like about doing sessions and then like even this talk on Zoom is I can see all of your faces, right up, like right there. So that's kind of lovely. I'm actually enjoying it a lot. I kept mine on gallery so I could see you all. Um, so this topic has become sort of I'm a bit obsessed with it actually, because what I'm finding in my work with individuals, and so then in this opportunity to speak to a group of people, what I'm finding is that most of us live our lives unaware. Unaware meaning, oh, we have periods of awareness where we like stop and go, okay, let me dial in here and let me train my mind on deeper consciousness, deeper truth, deeper awareness. So let me get attuned, let me get aligned and really focus my thinking. But what that means is if we're only in that place, in those moments that we actually, with great intention, focus, then the rest of the time we're just running around thinking thoughts, feeling feelings, doing actions, having a physical experience in unawareness, without intention, without consciousness. And so what I find is it's in those moments. See, we around here like to say, and because it's true, so thank God we keep saying it, but we are spiritual beings having a physical experience or a human experience. But when we're living those moments, or more like the bulk of our life, without really being intentional, without being really focused, without really being conscious, without really being aware, then we're kind of getting the human experience rather than the divine experience. I think this teaching and this awareness that I'm becoming aware of, I'm going to say the word aware a lot today, guys, so just hang with me here. But when we're living that experience, we're getting whatever is thrown at us. And rather than being able to respond from a place of awareness, we are reacting to the things going on around us, to the things that are coming at us, to the problems we have to solve, to the challenges we're facing, and really even all the good things that are happening. We're still reacting rather than responding. You know, and if our teaching is about anything, it's about living with awareness. And so in that regard, then, this awareness isn't like a verb. It's not like a state of being. It is something we are doing with intention. I am remaining in awareness. I am focusing. I am with great love for the experience of my life. I am staying aware and doing the things I need to do to be aware. Now, I'm going to take this a step further because this isn't just my thinking. Eckhart Tolle, in his book, hang on, I'm going to it's from Stillness Speaks, which I'd never heard of that book. But it's an Eckhart Tolle book. And listen to this quote. I'm gonna read quite a bit here, so just hang with me. Thinking that is not rooted in awareness becomes self-serving and dysfunctional. Wow. Cleverness devoid of wisdom is extremely dangerous and destructive. That is the current state of most of humanity, he says. The amplification of thought as science and technology, although intrinsically neither good nor bad, has also become destructive because so often the thinking out of which it comes has no roots in awareness. Here's the last the next step in human evolution is to transcend thought. Now, I'm going to take this a step further, if I may, that it's not just our thinking. Awareness is not just about what we're thinking and how we're thinking it. Awareness is also an understanding, a consciousness about what we're feeling, what emotions we're feeling, right? Most of the clients I work with, but they're just a representation of all of humanity, I think, of course, have no awareness of their emotions in any given moment. I spend a lot of time when I'm working with clients, both in a group setting and in individual practice, talking to them about that there are seven, count them, seven basic emotions. Here they come. Mad, sad, glad. They rhyme. Afraid, able, ashamed. They all start with A. And guilty. The relationship between shame and guilt. Guilt is I made a mistake. Shame is I am a mistake, right? So I'm going to repeat them again. Mad, sad, glad, afraid, able, ashamed, guilty. Those are the seven basic emotions. Now, there are words that describe from 1 to 10 on each of those, let's say. So sad at a 1 is hurt. Sad at a 10 is bereft, despondent, right? Mad at a 1 would be annoyed. Mad at a 10 would be rage, right? And I could go through all seven of those and we could give words all the way from 1 to 10. My point is, most of us live not only unaware of what would be our highest and best thoughts, we live unaware even of what our emotional state is. Most people default to one or two. They're either happy, glad, or they're mad. Happy or mad, right? Unless you're in extraordinary circumstances, the death of a loved one or what have you, you might be able to recognize sad, or other things. But there's a reason that in our culture, we default to happy or mad. And it's because we've been conditioned, we've been taught that any of the emotions other than glad and able, but most people don't actually ever feel able. Anything other than glad and mad is weak. Sad is weak, afraid is weak, shame is weak, guilt is weak. Men especially have a difficult time being able to recognize, acknowledge, and sit in the appropriate emotions of sad and fear. It's very interesting. And so when I'm working with a client and I say, so what emotion are you feeling right now? They go, they start making up words. It's like I can't tell you how many times they'll go, let me see, emotionally, I'm feeling confused. Oh, not an emotion. Yeah, that's a state of mind. That's a way of thinking. That's where you are mentally. But emotionally, what are you feeling? Numb. What if that's not true? What if you're not numb? You're just not acknowledging anything. So numb feels comfortable. Numb feels familiar. Familiarity often masquerades as safety. So if I just stay numb, I'm safe. Wow. What if that's just absolutely the opposite of true? Yeah. What if what would really be safe would be to know what you're feeling, what your emotion is? And then the third part of that emotion. So first it's literacy. I know what emotions are: mad, sad, glad, afraid, able, ashamed, guilty. I'm aware of what my emotion is now. And then from that place of awareness, what if then I can say, because all of these emotions are good when appropriate, right? Having the right emotion for the right event going on in your life would be a smart thing. But if I am mad at a 10, I might want to learn how to regulate so that I can bring that 10 down to a manageable 3 or 4. You see what I'm saying here? But to do that, folks, requires awareness. I first have to know what emotions are. I need to know what my emotion is. I need to know what level I'm feeling it, and I need to maybe consider, could I regulate it to something that's more manageable and more appropriate. But again, going back to the topic, awareness is a verb. This requires me to live in a constant state of awareness about these things. What am I thinking? Why? What am I feeling? Why? How can I make that manageable? And then, of course, from that place of knowing what I'm thinking and knowing what I'm feeling, I can then also regulate my actions. What am I doing? And more, what am I experiencing in my body? How is my body reacting? I don't know. There's a wonderful book that I was turned on to by Becky Buckman. Many of you know her, and a teacher that she and I spent a lot of time with, a guy named Robert Smith. It's called Metaphysical Anatomy. It's like this thick. And whenever I or one of my clients are dealing with the physical, something going on, either an illness or some aches and pains and what have you, I get out that book and I look, and it says often when you're experiencing this physical symptom, it's because this is what's going on in your life from a mental and physical emotional standpoint. I'm like, oh, our bodies keep the score. There's a wonderful book called The Body Keeps the Score. I would urge all of you to read it. That's talking about this very thing. We hold trauma and experiences in our body. And you can't think of that. You can't sit there and go, well, let me think my way out of what's I'm holding in my body, because your body isn't thinking. It's just experiencing its physical self. Anyway, the whole point of this exercise, or this way of thinking, this way of committing to living in awareness, is about understanding that awareness is, in fact, the product of our divine nature. Awareness is that part of us that is God, but not all of God. Awareness is what's bringing us back home, here, where I actually live. And so my thoughts are not necessarily God's thoughts. My feelings aren't necessarily God's feelings, and my actions aren't necessarily God's actions, unless I begin with the awareness that comes from God, that I then let influence what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, what I'm doing. That comes from awareness, and it is a commitment, and it is an action. I'm going to keep bringing myself back to awareness. I find myself out here. Thoughts are going on. Listen, our brains think. It's what it's supposed to do. They think. You know, our thoughts are like little white clouds going across a blue sky. Most of them just need to keep drifting. Keep going. Keep going. Thank you. Heard you. Not buying it. Letting it go. It's when we take a thought and we pull it down to just keep looking at it. And look where we are now. It's called fog. A cloud brought to the only thing that's in your awareness now has become fog. Byron Katie, who's a writer I love, says, it's not our thoughts, but our attachment to our thoughts that causes our suffering. Our attachment to our thoughts is what causes our suffering. So that if some negative thought comes into our mind and we attach to it and bring it down so that it's all I can see, I'm in suffering now, especially if it's a difficult, challenging thought. You know, which is why Tolle says thinking without awareness is destructive. It's dysfunctional. So when I'm having these difficult thoughts, these challenging thoughts, and it's all I can hold on to, it's all I've got, we're going to have to bring ourselves back to attunement, to alignment, to awareness. And the first question to ask is this thought true? Is this thought true? Oh, I'm married to it. It's the story I'm telling myself. It's the story I'm telling myself often about myself. The first question is it true? If I can bring myself back to alignment, attunement, awareness, can I challenge this thought? Can I challenge this story? Yeah. And it's the same with feelings. If I've allowed a feeling, an emotion, even if I'm not acknowledging it, even if I'm not even aware of what it is, but if I allow it to permeate my entire experience, my entire being, so that now the only thing I feel is fear. The only thing I feel is anger. The only thing I feel is sadness. Again, if I can bring myself back into alignment, into awareness, be attuned to that is me, but is also greater than me, I might find a way then to regulate that emotion when it's appropriate, or ask myself the question, is this emotion even true? Is it true? Is this a right emotion for what I'm experiencing? Right? Awareness. Being out of awareness, again, is just us walking through life, taking whatever comes at us and reacting to it rather than creating what we want. I want life to come from me, not at me. Life coming from me, not at me, requires me to be actively engaged in awareness. Yeah? Anyone picking up what I'm throwing down? I'm seeing those heads nodding. This has become sort of, it's what I've become obsessed with. I urge us all to become a little bit obsessed with it. That as I'm walking through my day, I might want to stop. When we're working in group sessions, one of the things we do at the beginning of every group session is we say, let's all do PIMS, P-E-M-S. PIMS is physically I'm, and then you describe the feelings of your body and what's going on with you physically. Emotionally, I am sad. Maybe, as that's your answer. Mentally, I'm scattered, I'm foggy, I'm focused, I'm present. Spiritually, I'm feeling connected, I'm feeling aware, I'm feeling like I'm experiencing my spiritual self, my spiritual nature. Asking the clients this every time we gather. And then what I say to them is, by the way, the reason we do this so much is we're trying to teach you, to train you, that you don't just do this once a day because I'm asking you to. And especially you're not doing it once a day because I'm asking you to and it's annoying. You know, what if you learned, what if we all learned that's an exercise I might want to do fairly regularly. It takes what, 3 minutes? That's something all through the day I might want to go, where am I? What's going on? Because listen, your life or life, just the world gets its hands on us. Ever thought of that? How, oh, look, the world just got its hands on me. I was doing pretty good there. I was living with some attunement. I was living with some alignment. I was living with some awareness. And then that happened. And so now my PIMS, if I took it right this second, would be very different than it was a few minutes ago when I was aligned, attuned, aware. So if you're in a situation, let me think of something awful. An ice storm. My power's out. Let's just throw that one out there as a hypothetical. I might want to spend a whole lot of time coming back. Where am I? Where am I in this moment? And being honest, as true as you could possibly be about my state, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, my awareness about where I'm at right now is this. Is it what I want? Is it what I choose? So many of the people I'm working with, they'll say, I am sad to a nine and I cannot do anything about it. I say, and this, of course, comes from our amazing teaching, but I'll say, what if that's not true? What if it's not true that you can't do anything about it? What if this is more of a choice than you think? What if you are not at the mercy? What if you are not at the mercy? What if you're not held captive by your thoughts, your feelings, even your physical reactions? This is really, in many ways, you guys, I think it's the essence of our teaching. I think the science of mind and spirit is saying to us, we get to choose. We get to choose. We get to choose. Now, I'm going to tell you something. If I'm sad at a 9 and I'd like for it to be a 3, and I come into awareness of that and I say, I choose to have my sadness at a place that is manageable and reasonable. That doesn't mean it's going to happen instantly. This might take some work. It turns out life is about doing the work. It turns out having the life I want is about doing the work. But what a lovely work. What a lovely work this thing called your life. What a lovely experience to know who you are, what you want, and what you're going to need to do to get it. And what if you can know all of those things knowing it's impossible not to get it if I do the work? With love, with gratitude, with compassion, with curiosity, with creativity, with confidence, with connection to something that is me but greater than me, and knowing that everybody and everything around me is also connected. See, this awareness, it is everything. More and more, I'm just like Ernest Holmes was saying, stay aware and create from that place. Trying to create from a place of unawareness is futile. It's preposterous. It simply won't work. So I will end here, but just know today, my prayer for you is, awareness. I talk a lot about mala beads these days. I'm kind of obsessed with them too. Because what I'm finding is Buddhist prayer beads, mala beads, 108, create a mantra, touch each one of those beads as you go around saying that mantra. It is a wonderful, easy way to stay focused on mindfulness and meditation. Here becomes a new mantra for me to say as I'm doing my mala beads. Here's one. May I release unconscious living and remain in awareness. Say that 108 times. It'll take you about 15 minutes. And when you get done, you'll go, well, I'm aware now. I'm aware now. And then an hour later, if I'm not, pick up those beads again. Or just do whatever you got to do. I say this a lot, I know that I just keep repeating myself, but I'm going to keep repeating myself till we're all actually doing these things, including me. Breath is the fastest way home. I mean, this is not just a spiritual truth that the ancients have known forever. It's now neuroscience. Neuroscience says you want to get regulated, they call it regulated. You want to get regulated, take a deep breath and hold it for a moment and feel yourself literally coming back to yourself. Let it go. Oh, look, here I am. Here I am. Now, mindfulness. What do I want to be thinking about? What do I want to be feeling? What do I want to be doing? I can do that from this place of awareness. I can have life coming from me, not at me. I can learn to respond, not react. It takes awareness. I challenge you today. I challenge you today. Just spend one day going, I'm going to keep coming back. I'm going to keep stopping and I'm going to check in. I'm going to do PIMS. Yeah. And so it is.
And so it is.
Well, I'm going to do a treatment. Is it okay if I do a treatment?
Please.
All right. Ooh, everyone take a deep breath. Find that place in you that is you, but is also greater than you. That place where it would be impossible not to have awareness. And know this truth, there is only one mind. There is only one heart. There is really only one experience of the physical, and it is God, and it is me. This place lives in me. It is never not in me. It is never not available to me. It is awareness, and I can choose it. I choose it now. I choose it in every moment that I am conscious of it. Awareness of who I am, what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, what I'm doing. Anything that looks different than this is an innocent misunderstanding. I forgive myself for having ever believed that there was something other than this truth, and I forgive anyone who's ever encouraged me to believe something different. And I bring myself back to this place of awareness. Ah, oh, look at me. Look at me, look at me. Who knew? Fabulous me. Oh, yes. I am so grateful. I am so thankful for this truth, this awareness. I can remain here. I can abide here with gratitude and thanksgiving. I let this be so. I let these words be true for me now and always as I move through my life, coming from me in response to that world around me that is so lovely. I let it be so, and so it is.
So it is.
Thank you, Greg.
Yo.
Yeah.
We'd like to thank Reverend Gregory Fisher for such a divine message today. It has just changed our lives. And we're going to move forward and know that the law of giving and receiving shows us that when we give, we receive even more. So if something has touched you today, Dale has put on our donation link in the chat box, and we are so grateful for your loving offerings. There are many ways you can share the love with us, and we are so grateful for your offering of any amount. If you don't see the link, we invite you to visit our website. Now, please join with me and say on the screen,
Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
And so it
So
is.
it is.
So it
Thank
is.
you for your loving gifts.
Aren't zinnias just a happy little flower?
Yes, they are. I agree.
We'd like to thank our speaker, Reverend Gregory Fisher, and to everyone who made this service happen today. You can find out about all the happenings at the center in our newsletter or on our website. I do want to mention that Lima's book study was postponed and starts this coming Tuesday, February 3rd. And Dr. Mitch's class has been postponed until Wednesday, February 18th. There's still time to register for both. Chair yoga and meditation will not take place tomorrow at the center and will begin on the following Monday, February 9th. Finally, join us this Friday evening, February 6th, for our first coffee house in our new home. We are excited because Reverend John Adams, our new senior minister, will be there next Sunday, and we look forward to greeting him and hearing his talk. And if there's something you've been dealing with There's something you want to attract in your life related to health, relationships, career, money, power. Please allow one of our practitioners to assist you. You just need to go to the website under practitioners and contact any one of them directly. Now, this concludes our service today. Please join me in a closing affirmation. The affirmation should be on the screen.
It is.
Divine abundance is
forever manifesting
in my affairs.
I experience a deeper consciousness of peace and security. For I know that I am in the embrace
of a
warm, loving presence, forever seeking an outlet through me.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you next Sunday.
Yeah.
Love you. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.